I'm dusting off the old time machine today because I want to show you a gadget that's still brand new in box, unopened, from 1988. This is the Laser FX, patent pending, and I'm sure quite a few people will recognise this as being a staple of the Brookstone, Skyball and Sharper Image catalogues of the late 80s and early 90s. As you can see, mine is still in its cellophane. I'll need to take this off so we can have a closer look at the box. Now, for those people who don't remember the Laser FX, well, you can figure out what it is. Music is not just for your ears anymore, and a picture of a device firing laser patterns on your ceiling. So it's a sound to light, music entertainment type object. We'll see exactly how well it performs in a moment. A couple of things to mention here. Notice how this chap's pointing at the ceiling, just in case this lady was saying, oh, it's on the ceiling. I was looking at the floor, wonder why I couldn't see anything. And then this, in comparison in size to these people, well, it's gigantic unless these people are tiny little borrowers, in which case they've also got a tiny little amplifier with them here, which has got different lighting on it to the rest of the scene. It doesn't seem to be plugged into anything or switched on, but presumably just to tell the person who's looking at this on a shelf that this will require a separate amplifier. Maybe just in a way to kind of explain a little bit about what the device is. There's much more on the box itself though, so let's have a look around some of the side panels on here. So the side does a better job of explaining what it does. Laser FX is the first and only laser effects FX light show for the home. It projects huge, in capitals, multiple colour images on walls, ceilings, etc. in response to your music system. Just plug it in, turn it on and begin seeing what you've been missing. And on it continues. Music never looked so good until now. Laser type light shows have been available for viewing only in commercial environments like concert halls and laser shows. It's amusing that. Until now, laser shows have only been available for viewing in laser shows. Well, that's where I'd expect to see them. The public has been intrigued by them. Have they really? But because of their high price, very few people have been able to own one. High-tech electronics and modern production techniques have been developed so that at last the price of owning this electronic marvel is within reach. I'm not too sure what this cost back in the day. I'll have to see if I can find out. Anyway, carrying on. From the sound stages of Hollywood to your home, for years the special effects FX departments of the movie industry have been using Laser FX to create movie magic on film. If you've ever seen a science fiction movie such as Star Trek or Star Wars, I'm not familiar with those, and have wondered how some of the lighting effects FX have been done, then Laser FX is your answer. Now for the first time, Laser FX is available as a gift for anyone who enjoys listening to any type of music, because music is not just for your ears anymore. I mean, it's right up my street, all this stuff. Got to point this bit out at the bottom here though. Laser FX, trademark in brackets Laser Effects, produces a laser light beam by using a specially designed light source. Laser-like beam. So, not a laser beam, a laser-like beam. So all this laser written all over the box is talking about a thing that doesn't have a laser. Anyway, there you go. Copyright 1988. At the top here it says Laser FX is portable. Because of its small size, Laser FX can easily be carried from home to parties or wherever the music is. I'd put a bit of a proviso on that and say, well, as long as the parties and the music are indoors in a darkened environment, you've got a nice white surface to project the laser onto. I wouldn't suggest taking this to the park in the middle of the day, for example. At the bottom here, designed in California, made in Korea. But have you ever seen a back of a box that looked more 1988 than this? Right, well that's enough nonsense. Let's get inside here. Now this has been in this box perhaps for up to 31 years, so there's no guarantee this thing's going to work. Let's hope it does. Oh, stop and read. Important notice, do not throw away. It's recommended that certain procedures be followed in the use of your Laser FX. Turn off the power switch when the music's ended. Allow at least 1/2 hour of non-use after each hour of operation. So presumably it gets quite warm and they had trouble with them overheating. This will substantially increase the life of the specially designed bulb. So yeah, not a laser. Okay, let's get on. So it's very enjoyable to open something like this for the first time after all these years. Keep going on about it being the perfect gift. It's obviously one of these things that don't buy for yourself, buy for someone else. We've got the registration card in here as well. I don't think it's worth sending it off now. Goes to Chatsworth, California. Place of purchase, eBay. They'd be like, what the heck's eBay? What are you talking about? Right, so there it is. It's quite a chunky device. So what have we got on the side here? We can see we've got an on-off power switch, AC input. There's a thing there about disconnects AC power before opening. Presumably that's where the bulb is. On this side we've got a focus wheel, an image size slider and a selector between line and speaker. and an audio input. Now, I really thought this thing would have a mic input, but everything seems to have to be wired in, which is less convenient. And that idea of sort of taking it along to a party means that you have to say, oh, can I get around the back of your hi-fi and wire my laser projector in? Right, so here's how the stand works. This bottom section has ridges in it. This bit sticks up. So the idea is you put the base of this, which has a rubberized edge on it, into one of these ridges, and then bring this back section up and hold this in a position at whatever angle you want. Also on the back of it, you'll notice there's a hook for hanging it on a wall. So you could have it hanging opposite another wall, I suppose. It looks a little bit like a kind of HAL 9000 unit or something like that. But I think what we need to do is we need to plug it in and see if it actually does anything. I also need to wire it into some audio. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a microphone, so that's just going to be a matter of me daisy chaining it with some other audio device. There's some interesting terminology in the instruction booklet here. It goes into various different ways to attach it to your system, which I can imagine could be confusing for the kind of person who might just buy this on a whim, because not often everyone has to get around the back of their hi-fi and split cables and things. But this is the bit that amused me. It goes on about portable audio systems, basically using it with a Walkman. But it says Laser FX may also be used with walkabout type headphone units. And they've got the writing here, walkabout. So they obviously didn't want to use the term Walkman. The specs at the back of the manual state that the bulb will last for about 100 hours. There's a form to send off for 2 new bulbs for $19.95, and all of a sudden they want to be very clear that this is a non-laser device. Okay, so here's the rather cable-heavy setup that I've got. It wouldn't be this bad for everyone, though, because I'm using a step-down power transformer. That's where the power lead comes out there, goes into my step-down power transformer, because, of course, I've got 230 volts coming out of the wall. Need to step that down to the voltage that this can take, because this is a US import. They did sell this in Europe as well, so most people wouldn't have needed to bother with one of those. But the rest of it, yes, you would have to bother with. The audio input on the side with a single RCA input, which then goes down this RCA lead, which just takes one channel. They suggest you could buy 2 of these, have one for the left channel, one for the right, but we'll just deal with the one at the moment. And that goes into this cable, which splits off a 3.5mm input into the RCA cable that goes into the device, and then another 3.5mm stereo output, which goes off to my speaker. So I just need to plug this into my digital music player, play some music into it, switch the thing on, and hopefully something will happen. Ah, yes, we have action. It is working. So let's point at this wall and play some music into it. Since the mirror fell off, it looks like we're going to be opening it up. You can see the back of the mirror there with the yellow glue, and then that blob up there, which is what it was attached to. Right, that's the last one. So let's see if we can open this up. So we've got the bulb in the bottom section here that then shines through this colour wheel. Pretty unsophisticated stuff, just a wheel that spins around on a motor. So then that travels through this tube here. At the top there's a lens. I'll put a light at that. Is pretty misty. That needs to go clean. That might help things a little bit. And then that shines onto the mirror. Okay, so I wasn't expecting much, but I've got even less than that. So to explain what we've got here, 4 plastic pegs. Stretched between the bottom 2 is an elastic band, to which is attached this mirror in 2 positions, as you can see here. That's the back of it. And then on the top, this is where the top half of the mirror should be glued, just on one side though, on the top. And to that elastic band on the back, we've got this transducer. So that is acting like the center part of a speaker and just shaking around like that as the music's played, which then creates a shake on this mirror, which then shines the light that comes through this tube onto the wall in a kind of squiggly pattern. And that's it. It's very random. I thought there was perhaps a little bit more going on in here than that, but yeah, it's just that that's moving up and down and creating a squiggle effect. And of course at the other end, the colour wheel, well, presumably that's spinning somehow in time with the music or the amplitude or the beat or something. But yeah, it's all all a bit pathetic, really, when you look at it. I mean, honestly, this thing, I don't know if it's really worth gluing it back together again. I'm really in two minds. Okay, so after having a bit of a think about it, I decided I should glue the mirror back on again. So I've just done that now. It seems to be sticking fine, although I'm going to leave it to set overnight. I've cleaned the mirror, I've cleaned the lens in there, so I just need to clean inside of this, and I'll try it again tomorrow. The reason I stuck it back on, I haven't had the opportunity to try this on a large wall, so I haven't really been able to see how it functions in the environment you're supposed to be showing it in. So I just wanted to give it one more go before I pass final judgment, although I think I know what that judgment's going to be. Right, so it's the next day. I think the mirror has stuck, so I've got my projector screen out. I've got it all set up here, ready to go. So let's see what it looks like on a larger screen. Now that might have looked a little bit out of focus, but trust me, I've got the focus dialed in perfectly. In fact, while it's not moving, you might be able to see this here. This is the filament of the bulb that I'm looking at with a green filter on it. So it's pin sharp when it's not moving, but as soon as that mirror starts shaking around, everything gets quite soft looking. The device that shakes the mirror really is just like the centre of a bass speaker, so much so that when you play music into it, even without a speaker attached, you can recognise the tune by the vibrations that are coming through to the mirror. Just have a listen to this. Overnight I did a bit of research and I found out the price of this in 1988 in the US in the Sharper Image catalogue. How much do you think it cost? Just put a price in your head now. The answer is $199. Yeah, well, $200 rounded up for this. I mean, that's a heck of a lot of money to pay for a mirror attached to a couple of elastic bands with a bulb pointing at it. There was some markup inside this, that's for sure. Just to put that price into perspective of something that was on sale around about the same time, well, the next year, 1989 in the US, that's when the Sega Genesis came out at a price of $189.99, $10 less than this. I think I know which one I would have got more entertainment value out of. But if, like me, you always kind of wondered what one of these things was like and what it did, well, now you've found out. I know it's 30 years too late, but I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. But that's it for the moment. As always, thanks for watching.